First thing, pop in the hood, just like that. And then we're gonna push down on the emergency brake, like that. And put our Chock block back here for the hood. You have to the hood release, just pick it up, stick it in the hole. Then pull the dipstick out just so that you kind of remember, hey, there's no oil in here. I always take the cap off, set it right here so you can't close the hood. Again, as a reminder that there's no oil in there. So next, this is where the jack goes. It's kind of directly below the mirror. It's usually going to be in this area, regardless of what vehicle you're working on. You can put the jack right here, or you can put it back here on the frame. Go ahead and jack it up. If you don't have a floor jack yet, you should probably buy one. All right, go ahead. Drain plug right there. This car actually is nice and tells you that this is the engine oil. And then you got your oil filter right here. Did you figure out your socket yet?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this one.
Okay. Go ahead. We're gonna pull the drain plug out. Other way. Yep. So here's where I always try to get my hand above it when the oil comes out. Still got a little dirty. Now we're draining. Let that go for as long as you can, basically. Go to lunch, take a break. And you can use this opportunity to check other fluids, like the power steering fluid, which has marks on it. And sometimes it's kind of hard to see, so we shine a light down inside, just like this. Oh, that's not working very well with this car. There we go. So the power steering fluid is actually low. Then you have brake fluid over here, but you can see that one already. And this is the max line, the minimum line. There's warnings on here not to open this while it's dirty, because it's really important that you don't get anything in this fluid. So you'll clean it off really good before you open it. When you're doing an oil change, you're gonna have to take off an oil filter. If it's a spin-on style oil filter like that, and these are some of the types of tools that you can use, just depends on what you have available. This is a great tool to have, and it's about the easiest way to do it. If you end up buying one of these, then you just put it on the filter, take your ratchet, and I kind of hold it with my fingers to get it to start to go. And you see as I turn it, it actually squeezes the filter. Just kind of let it do its thing. I'm holding that with my thumb to keep it in place as I ratchet back. And that's loose enough now that I can do by hand, so I'm not going to have the tool on it anymore. When you start to unscrew this, it's going to drain down. So I usually spin it a little bit and then let that drain to get a bunch of that extra oil out of there. But let that do its thing for a minute. You don't have to let that drain, like I said, to let the engine oil drain down here, because it'll still drain once this filter's out of the way. Make less of a mess if it's not actively streaming off of the filter. I'm just gonna turn it. Come on, one of these days. Yep. When I know I'm getting close, I put my hand under it so that it doesn't hit the oil drain bucket and splash everywhere. And just let that drain for a little while. Go to lunch again. If you look up your vehicle, in this case it's a 2009 Honda CR-V, I was actually looking for the oil capacity. So I looked up oil capacity. This number you want to get right. Now 4.4 or 4.5, it's not going to make a difference, so I'm just going to do 4.5 quarts. But if you notice here, it actually tells you the capacity with the filter and then the drain plug torque spec. Google is your friend for a lot of stuff. AMSOIL is a trustworthy source for that information, there's 100 other sources that will work as well. Now, one of the things that you need to make sure you do is that you lubricate the oil filter seal, which is this black thing right here. So you get a little bit of oil that's dripping, or you can use new oil. It really doesn't matter because it's not going back inside the engine. You just get a nice layer on the filter, and then you thread that on. Always check too to make sure that that seal doesn't stay behind from the old filter. Sometimes that happens. You just want to spin it on there. All right, so now you've made contact with the engine, so it's stopped turning freely. I go till it's kind of snug, which is about one full turn past that contact point. And it's not actually turning anymore. That's my hand sliding on the filter. So now it's good and tight. My favorite German torque spec. Now at this point we have a nice drip of oil, so I would feel comfortable putting the drain plug back in. Now everything on your car, every bolt and nut and filter that spins has a torque specification that you're supposed to follow. Make sure you're going righty-tighty. I'll double check it just because. And you don't really need to like crank on this thing super hard. I just get about that much. I don't need this much leverage. So I get about that much leverage. Give it a little pull, and I know that's good and tight. I would get some more of your brake clean, spray down that surface to get all that extra oil off of there. And again, this stuff evaporates. Right, next is a funnel. You need a funnel. If you don't have one, get one. They're super cheap. All right, then pour in your oil. In our case, we measure it, but you know, if you need 4.5 quarts and you're buying it by the quart, go to the store, buy 5 quarts, and use 4 of them, and then use half of another. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Now that we have our oil back in, we are going to put the cap back on, because I know the oil's in it. Dipstick's back for now. We are going to start it and check it. Run it for 10 seconds, and then shut the car back off. Now we're going to check the oil. So we started it for 10 seconds. Now, come over here and pull the dipstick out. Because you've already started it, you want to wipe it off once. Stick it back down inside. Sometimes they don't like to go, so you just kind of rotate it until it falls in the groove that it's supposed to be in. Pull it back out. And what we're looking for is down here. You want to be between these 2 dots. The closer to the top, the better. I think that's good enough. We're going to call it. Alright, so the last thing we're going to go over is how to check your transmission fluid. It's basically the same thing as the oil dipstick, but if you notice there's a little bit of a notch there. That's because down on the tube, I'll show this a little bit, there's a little green tabby that sticks into that notch. In order to get an accurate reading on this thing, you're going to want to have it sitting in there properly. You pull it out after the car's been running and is at running temperature. Wipe off your dipstick. Insert it again. Pull it out. Push it all the way in. Go back out. And actually, if you see, we're way over full. Considering the moisture that was underneath the car, they probably know they have a leak, so they've been topping it off and not checking it properly along the way. If you do not check the oil level when the engine's running and warm, you are not going to get an accurate measurement. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. First, I wanted to say, after you change your oil, please dispose of the used oil properly. There are many locations that'll take used oil for free, which includes most auto parts stores. Also, I'm working on an entire series of videos covering basic vehicle maintenance, with the goal of keeping the videos as short and simple as possible without skipping any important information. Eventually, I'll do more advanced videos as well. If you have any comments on this video, or if you want to suggest a topic for the next video, please drop that in the comments below. Lastly, please like, share, and subscribe. I really want to use these videos to help as many people as possible. I want to help them understand the repairs they could be doing themselves and understand just what goes into a repair, hopefully helping them save time and money. Because let's be honest, many mechanics will take advantage of the uninformed, and many jobs can simply be done at home. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.